This is Richard Mumford, the European editor of Microwave Journal, at this year's MTTS, with Thomas Sieverding, the General Manager of MiCian. Thomas, I believe that the 6.6 version of Microwave Wizard that you're exhibiting here features a horn antenna synthesis tool. Why is there the need for such a tool?
Yes, thanks Richard. The reason for having such a tool is most important for a lot of engineers, because still now there's a lot of programs which can manage the calculation of horn antennas. But our challenge is now to make a synthesis and mostly also an optimization of horn antennas. And this is now the key part of our program where we are just focused on.
What are the key features of the new tool?
So the key features is that we introduced a lot of new library elements which are specially based on the boundary contour mode matching method and also on the body revolution elements. And these elements have the advantage that they are very fast because they're based on mode matching technique. And most important is that they are very easily to manage by the user itself.
Mm-hmm.
So what we can do now is just I can show you on the computer how to set up just a horn antenna.
Right, okay.
So first of all means that the user has to define the start frequency and the end frequency for the sweep. So he has to define how many steps he wants to compute. And then he has to simply to select the horn. You see we have different horn profiles, conical horn, Potter horn, modified Potter horn, and so on. So in this case I choose a Potter horn.
Yes.
So I will go now to the Potter horn itself. So I will add the required gain. So now I start the analysis, and with that I get just the geometries of the horn antenna. So I close this window. Then I will say I will add some performance parameter just to this horn antenna for the vertical polarization. And next is that I have to specify the geometries, electric and magnetic wall, and it should be of radial symmetry.
Yes.
And with the next step I go to the performance parameter, so I was looking for the copolar gain, which should be for the vertical polarization with the fundamental mode in the circular waveguide, and I do it for a theta min from 0 up to 45 degree at phi at 0.
Yes.
So I add this parameter, and I also add a return loss as a parameter. So that's all. So now I create the schematics. Furthermore, for sure I can save these settings. So I give a name Potter. Yes, so I close this one. And after that you see there are now two schematics. So if I visualize one of the schematics, you see this is now just my profile of my Potter horn.
Right, okay.
And with the next step I go to the project itself. I will just go to the optimization parameter. You see now we have just added those specifications that we wanted to have gain or 20 dB and also a matching of minus 15 dB. So I can close it. I go now to the radiation itself and I specify now some pattern. So I will do it for sure for the fundamental mode and the circular waveguide, and I will do it as 2D plot and also as a 3D plot, again for the fundamental mode in the circular waveguide. So I close this one, and now I just start the computation after specifying a file name typically. And at the bottom of the screen you will see here the initialization of the first frequency step. This takes a few seconds, and now you see this is now real computation speed 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we look to the response, you see the return loss. On the other hand side we can also now just go to the pattern itself. We look to the pattern, so a 2D plot as specified and required 20 dB. And on the other side we just can also go down to see a 3D visualization. Once again, to click on this plot pattern. Typically these are the 3D output of a Potter horn, and see that it was required.
Right.
So you see within one mouse click or a few mouse
Yes.
clicks you are able just to synthesize a horn antenna, and for sure you can later on do an optimization onto a certain specification. So this is just the main feature of the new version 6.6.
Oh, that's very quick, thank you.
Yep.
Obviously we've had a limited time here, so how can engineers and designers find out more information about the new version of 6.6?
for sure visiting our booth. Yeah, on the other side, just go to the micro apps on Thursday, where we have a presentation, and later on after the show, for sure, contacting our company's website.
Right. Well, thank you very much. Have a
Thank
good
you.
show.
Thanks.